Hey Taurus, welcome back to Deku Tarot and welcome to your December 2020 reading. Your energy is really anxious right now. It took me quite a while to start this reading. Every time I started, I was like, no, I gotta sit down and have a drink of water. So I poured myself a glass of your moon water that I charged in your full moon and the Scorpio new moon. And I'm gonna be drinking that during this. And I suggest that you keep yourself hydrated this month because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot for you. Let's just be real. It's a lot for everybody though, so don't feel like you're being victimized. If you haven't, guys, do make sure to subscribe and check out the videos for your sun, moon, and rising for the month. And if you want to book a reading, all the info is always right below this video in the description box. So let's get right into this here. Using the classic Rider-Waite. And I think it's really hard to ignore that vacillating energy, right? We're back and we're forth and we don't know which way we're going to go on a certain decision. Do we go? Do we stay? Do I stay exactly where I am? Or do I do that new thing that I know I'm being called to do? Because I'm not learning anything. I'm not growing just by sitting here in this Nine of Swords energy. Going back and forth, why? Remember who you are. The bull. You are known to be straight up with your knowledge. You're known to see things in a very structured way. And you come across as this structured, knowledgeable individual. And yet we're falling for the same old stuff again and again. And we don't want to get caught up in that this month, because if you go back and forth on something and then you decide to not change and to stay where you're at and to ignore the toxic behavior that you've gotten caught up in, the toxic relationship, the codependency, whatever this is, and don't worry, we'll talk about what this is, but don't get caught up in this vacillating energy. We're going to get through it this month. And we're going to finally learn why we've been in this state for so long and make a decision, make an informed decision about moving forward. So let's talk about it. If we get caught up in the fantasy that really obstructs the reality of the situation, then we're not going to be able to allow the really good things that want to come in right now. We're not going to be able to get this stuff. We want this stuff, right? The new chapter is here. It's unfolding before our eyes. But if we keep vacillating and we keep going back and forth on a situation that we know we're going to have to make a decision about in the future if we don't do it now. Do you want to be stuck where you're at? Feeling the lack, feeling the worry, not being comfortable? If you want that best life that you dream of, where you're successful in relationships, in money, in career, in doing all those things that you want to do and want to be, then you're going to have to let go of that thing that you're just holding on to, that's really stopping you. And really what that's about is your own personal settings on this matter. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about what you can have? And how deep does that go? I feel we've settled with carrying this Ten of Wands just to stay where we're at for so long, and yet what is it actually giving us? Are we still dreaming of that perfect, better life, that success that we know we can have? We know we can have it, but at the same time, why aren't we making it happen? Because we have these limiting things within us right now that we have to work through. What limits you? What are you allowing to define your values in terms of what you're able to earn, in terms of your relationship? I think you'll see very clearly this month that you attract in certain types of people. again and again. And why is that? Because, oh, sorry, I know it's going to come out. Almost dropped them all on the ground there. Because we don't see our, deep down, we are still holding on to toxic and sad energy that allows us to believe that we're not going to ever be able to get better than that. We might have to revisit something very painful from the past, painful experiences, really what it is that we're afraid of, especially when it comes to building with others. I think that there was a time where it was fun and it was wonderful and we thought we were aligned in all the same principles, all the same things. But why does it feel like this? Somebody took those 3 cups and just threw them on the ground, and it's not fun anymore. Whether this is a past situation or now, it's being felt. It's being noticed. And we know when you see these, these 2 threes here, 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, that looks good, right? We're building together. We're having a great time with it. There's celebration. With both of these 3s, there's collaboration. There's effort in a relationship. And yet, here we are, wondering, how did we get here? What happened to that fantasy? Well, it was a fantasy all along. And the hard reality that we're not living the life that we want to live, that things are not really looking like this right now, and that they haven't been for a while, is here. If you've pushed it to the side, if you've tried to ignore it and tell yourself things will change, they're going to get better, I just have to wait, I have to have patience, because that's what I'm good at as a Taurus. There's no more patience needed here. You don't need to wait anymore. Universe doesn't want you to wait. It's time to really look at this stuff. And I do think that with Mars and Aries in your 12th house, you're going to have to acknowledge it. You're going to have to face these fears. Face what it is that you're so afraid of deep down, and how that limits you and what you're able to create and build here in the real world. And why is it there? What does it tell you about how you see yourself? What is the truth? It's taking a really hard look through unblurred vision, through vision that's not obscured with fantasy anymore. Now that Neptune is direct, we have some hard decisions to make. And we've got to do what we got to do, because we've changed. And between these 2 eclipses, I wouldn't be surprised if this is exactly what happens. And if it's not between then, I promise you, it will happen right after that eclipse, that solar eclipse in Sagittarius on the 14th. Because right after that, we have Saturn and Jupiter both moving into Aquarius, and then we have the Great Conjunction. And we are redefining these aspects. We were redefining everything about ourselves. I mean, yeah, we're going to still be this same old Taurus in some ways. You're not going to lose yourself in all this, but you have to put yourself on the level, on the playing field that you want to be playing on. Because you aren't there. You're over here carrying all these wands for somebody else, wondering, why am I doing this? And why aren't things changing? Why? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Where do I go from here? Get grounded. You know what you're supposed to do. And if you don't yet, if you don't know what it is that is limiting you, that is holding you back, like I said, I promise you, it will come back. And you're going to have to look at it in a very clear, very grounded way. Like, there's not a lot of cups here. And the cups that are here, yeah, bring up your fantastical side of self, your delusions. Sometimes the 9 of Cups is really wonderful. And yeah, it is in some aspects in this reading. But it also talks about your delusions and dropping them for, reality. In the face of reality. in the face of what is real, what is happening, and the decisions that you need to make to, you know, create the life that you want, to create that dream vision here in reality, and know that it is actually much better than what you have in your head and what you're living in your fantasies. This to me speaks very much about that Gemini eclipse at the beginning of the month, which really allowed us to get clear, to see what we needed to see, to know what we needed to know, and to start making the communication efforts with others to put things in motion. So if you haven't, start talking to people, start talking to your friends, and start talking about the reality of a situation instead of what's in your head. Because other people and friends will ground you throughout this. They will ground you and tell you this is what you really are, and this is how you're really acting. And it's really weird to see you in this position when you actually want more. And I've been having conversations like this a lot lately. It's really weird how this reading is like pretty relevant to what I'm going through. But I had a great conversation recently, and I had a friend that really pointed out, you know, I always saw you doing these things, and I've seen you compromise, you know, what it is that you really want, and compromise, you know, how successful you can be to stay at a certain place, to stay in a certain level, when I know that you can and will do much more. So why stop now? You know, why pause where you're at and act like you're confused and you can't make the decision? Make it. Face those fears. And I will say there could be some really intense stuff coming up from your past, from even your childhood, things that you have held on to and that have been inside of you for so long. It's, you know, taking this light and putting it on inside here and looking at, again, what are your settings? It's like when you haven't, like, you know, messed with your computer in a while, and you're like, okay, things are like a little bit like off or something like that. Let's, you know, fix the settings on this. Let's, you know, update. Let's do an update. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if there's any junk in here. Let's see what we can get rid of. Let's see what's holding the computer back, making it run slower. You know, so you're going to go in and you're going to check on those files. You're going to see what you can delete, what you can get rid of, what you can evaluate, and then purge. Evaluate what you're holding on to and how it's affecting you emotionally, how it's affecting your relationships, and what it makes you seek out in other people. Taurus, you and Cancer. Ooh, this is definitely a message that's coming for both of you guys. The giving. Let's talk about that. The aspect of your style of love and how it gives and it gives and it gives. Very loving. Very, you know, I'll give to you all these things because I can. Start giving that stuff to yourself. What are you doing? You're just giving to anybody that would ask for it, right? You're going to look for people that can take and take and take because you're so willing to give, and you so easily create and manifest. So manifest in the right type of person who respects that, who leaves you in your garden of 9 pentacles and then goes and spends their own pentacles. Whether that's emotional pentacles, you know, money, whatever it might be. It's time to really look at who you are, because you're amazing, but you're taking this amazing, abundant, incredibly successful energy and you're channeling it all into the wrong places. And you have been. So it's time to look at why that is. And how, and what you believe about yourself, that allows you to do that, that directs your energy in this way. Because at some core of your being, you only believe that you're worth this much. And you might say, you know, I'm amazing and I love myself and I'm worth all these things. Then why are we here? We got to talk about it. Because something's limiting you. Something within you is really telling you what you're capable of and what you can do and what you're able to accomplish, when you can accomplish so much more. The sky is the limit. Be strong against this kind of thing of, you know, I'm going to put effort into something and I'll never see the results. That's where you're at, and you need to come at this like the Strength card, with courage, with bravery, with this bold energy to do what is best, even if it's very hard. And it will be hard. You'll be breaking some karmic stuff, you know, breaking through karmic barriers, karmic relationships. We are busting through this if we want to, but you have to be willing to do it. You can't do the thing where, you know, we're all gung-ho about something, and then when it comes to actually doing it, we settle back into our old routine of what we're comfortable with, of what feels stable and good to us. Remember that Uranus is in your sign. Change is here, and it's time to start being the flying bull. to do what needs to be done, to do the unconventional for yourself to get to where you need to go. Do things that run against maybe even what you thought your nature was, because you've changed and you can still change. You'll, again, like I said, you'll still be the same core person in some ways, but you need to change what you believe about your success, about love, and about the type of relationships in all these areas that you can have, because you can have it all. And people do support you, but you can't let people tell you what your goals are, where you should go, how you should do it this month. You can do this on your own, and you need to tell people, this is what I want, and not ignore that part of you that's saying, this is what I want. But also realize, let's look at a little bit at romantics here. Also realize that romantically, you've got to watch out for really, I don't know, just in general, it just feels like don't start too many things this month. Don't get in deep, even if you've got like a crush or something, because it's not the time for a change in relationships. It's a time for you to work on your money, work on yourself, work on building your life up to what you want it to be. Resetting yourself, resetting the energy that you are putting out. Like literally, these are your settings about money and love. What do you want? You need to switch that so that you're bringing in the right stuff and you don't get stuck in this again, right? You don't want to get stuck in a situation where you're giving and giving and giving and you get stuck on one energy like playing field here. You're not going to be able to have that success that you want, that you need, and that you deserve, because you do deserve it. So stop lowering yourself, lowering the bar for everybody else. Just stop, because when you stop lowering the bar, you're going to bring in people whose bar is up here already. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? The Magician reversed, Page of Cups. Love is kind of sneaky this month. It's kind of a nice, again, it's an illusionary distraction, so ignore it. You can't do what is not real for you right now. You can't be dreaming about a future where this works out and all these things change and I'll just stay here because, my fantasies will become reality. No, they will not. Don't let anybody else dictate where you're headed this month because you want to give to them and you want to feel comfortable and you want these certain things. You need to do what's best for career, what's best for money, what's best for your life path forward, for getting here. You already are kind of here, but you're not fully there because you're allowing these other things to really limit you. You need to put work into what you're refusing to change and what is slowly burgeoning here. The Judgment is asking for change. Don't ignore it. Your first instinct is to say, I can just ignore this again for now. How many times have you ignored this? How many times have you ignored this push, this pull, this need for more? And if you have somebody come in that is just everything you'd want them to be and more, because you've changed your energy output, because you have battled against that part of you that really just wants to get in bed with this person that's really interesting and really lighting your fire right now, there's better things in the future, maybe even still with this person, maybe with an Aquarius. But you have to go through this period of self-development, of resetting your energy so that you can make sure when things start to develop more with this person that it's the right way, that it's the right type of person, that you're not getting caught up in this situation again where you're going to be a giver and you're going to build your life around another person and reset all of your energy to match theirs, so that you're not, over succeeding or doing this or doing that, so that things are good between you guys. It has to, I hope you guys just heard that I have a candle burning over here, and as soon as I just was talking about that, it was just like sizzling and sparking and going crazy. So, yeah. Make sure to try to keep your pants on this month. Is just going to be a message that I'm going to tell you. Don't give into that very intense libido drive that's going to be driving you this month. Blame it on the energy, but just try not to give into it, because you can't be focusing on relationships. You can't be focusing on starting something new while you're trying to clean yourself up from the inside. Yeah, whatever, flirting, talking, getting to know somebody, that's fine, but don't jump the gun. Take this slow. Be patient, because you have so much deep work and resetting and healing to do that you don't want to mess that up and get yourself in another situation like you're trying to get out of, okay? You got to reset your life for you. Just kind of like I told Cancer, you got to set your life for you and you only. Nobody else can be involved in these plans moving forward. You have done enough for all the people around you, and you have got to start focusing on what it is that you need and where you want to see your life head. Yeah, your fantasies that are, you know, about the life that you want to be living, all that stuff, that they can become reality, but make sure you're dreaming big enough. Make sure that you remember your Taurus power in all of this. Make sure you remember that the sky is literally the limit in terms of the money you can make, in terms of the love that you can bring in. Leaving one situation does not mean that you cannot have that 10 of Cups, because that's there. I mean, we're still upset about this 3 of Cups. Why? When we have the 10 of Cups that wants to come in very passionately, very intensely, with a fire sign or an Aquarius. But to me, this just feels like, oof, nice, steamy, sexy energy. But more than that, because it is the 10 of Cups. Stop giving your heart over. Stop giving your emotions, your time, your energy to this. It wasn't even the 10 of Cups in the first place, right? I mean, it's over here. And from the beginning, like, you're crying about a 3 of Cups. When you have a 10 of Cups over here with somebody who probably really wants to get to know you, really wants to build something with you. And there's a longer game in that when I see the 10 of Cups. Something real. A light at the end of the dark. Cannot English. This Gemini, like, eclipse, like, messed it up for me. Being a Vedic Gemini rising, I feel like it just, like, I can't speak fast enough right now. But again, it doesn't have to be an Aquarius. It can just be the light at the end of a very long, dark tunnel for a love that comes in that's just brilliant, bright, beautiful, passionate, exciting, and also does offer you that 10 Cups, exactly what you need, better than what you've wanted or looked for in the past or what you've settled for. So financially, things get a lot better, but you have to reset yourself. You have to be ready to jump into this energy emotionally, mentally, physically. And again, I'm going to just keep saying it. You've got to reset internally. You have got to reset where you are putting your energy and the energy output that you are doing. Because somewhere deep down, you don't believe that you deserve the things that you're telling everybody you do deserve, and why aren't they coming? And I put in all this work and I don't understand why I haven't seen the success, and I don't understand where the money is. What energy are you putting? What is limiting you? You're limiting yourself in some way here. And even though you could be yelling at me in the comments after this eclipse, after that conjunction, you're going to go, oh, okay, I see what she meant. I see exactly what she meant. Because again, at this point, some of you might not actually know what's limiting you. You might not even notice. You might think that everything is perfect and fine. You will see. It's an upgrade though, so don't fight it. Do not fight it. Do not be afraid. Do not feel guilty or ashamed that, you know, we went down this path or we allowed ourselves to hold on to this energy for this long, okay? You're okay. You're at this point. Where are you going to go? The world's in your hands. Are you going to go back down there? Or are you going to head out towards a new horizon and do what you really want to do? Be where you really want to be. By the end of this month, you'll be prospecting successfully where you are headed in the future. But you've got to set yourself up for that. You got to set yourself up for that. Ooh, I love it. I love ending it this way. 6 of Wands, 8 of Cups. It might be hard to emotionally leave something that you've become so attached to behind. A lifestyle, a relationship, a career. But where you're headed is so much better. That's success, winning. You have that and more. Like, you've got it. You just got to go for it. You've just got to switch that energy and realize what you're really capable of and believe it, know it, and do what it takes to bring it in. Focus on that. Stop focusing on all this other stuff. You're allowing it to limit you. You're allowing it to limit and, misdirect your energy. Stop vacillating. Make the decision and just do it. Do what you know is best for you. So let's pull an oracle. You guys. Slay me. Okay, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Oh, we're getting one immediate. Force. It's from the Lynn V. Andrews Oracle deck. Force lives in your will and comes from your intent. Life is a process of pulling back your bow, aiming your arrow, choosing a target, and shooting. The degree and quality of the force with which you choose your target and shoot determine your power and your success. Force is built through your integrity of purpose, your physical tuning, and your balance of spirit and mind. By naming your act of power, you create force. Follow your innermost passions in life. Empower your will and your strength of force by manifesting your secret dreams. It's a really beautiful message. So, thank you guys so much for all of your support, my lovely, lovely Tauruses. I love you guys so much. Do make sure to subscribe. If you want to book a private reading, all that information is below in the description box. If you want to get 30% off a numerology, compatibility, or birth chart analysis, do check out Truly Divine. Use my code DEKU30. All that info is also in the description box below. And thank you guys so much. Do follow me over on Instagram as well, Deku Tarot, and I will see you in 2021. I'm going to maybe try to do the 2021 readings. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time. Life is crazy right now. So anyways, wishing you all the best luck, all the love. Things are going to be fine. Don't be afraid on facing those fears. You're going to get through it just fine. You're a Taurus. Don't forget that. All right. Namaste.